Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk a little bit about some news regarding Russia, because it turns out that the Russian government has decided to respond to the sanctions placed upon it. Apparently, the Russian government appears to have responded by simply legalizing piracy. That is, provided that the piracy is being done towards companies that exist within countries that have placed sanctions upon Russia. This particular story was first brought to us by one Louis Goss from City AM, with their article simply titled, "Russian Government Rolls Back Intellectual Property Rights in Response to Western Sanctions." And given how short this article is, I've decided I might as well read it to you verbatim. As it states, and I quote, "The Russian government is pushing forwards with plans to undermine intellectual property rules and reverse the rights of Western patent holders in an effort to counter the impacts of Western sanctions." The Russian government this week said Russian companies have no obligation to pay patent holders from countries that sanctioned Russia for use of their intellectual property, according to local media reports. The Russian government has effectively legalized piracy by introducing new laws stating that Russian firms are allowed to use innovations from unfriendly countries without paying to use the IP, according to state-backed newspaper Rozhikayata Gazeta. The reports come after Russia's Ministry of Economic Development last week told reporters that it was considering lifting IP rules to counter sanctions, with a view to encouraging Russian producers to manufacture certain goods. The possibility of lifting restrictions on the use of intellectual property contained in certain goods, the supply of which to Russia is limited, is being considered, the ministry said to Russian news agency TASS. This will smooth out the impact on the market of breaks in supply chains, as well as the shortage of goods and services that aroused due to new sanctions by Western countries. Last week, Russian politician Dmitry Yanin said Russia may also unblock renting site Root Tracker with a view to helping Russians watch Hollywood films. So to summarize what this article says, the Russian government is openly telling its businesses to simply pirate IPs from companies that exist in, quote, unfriendly countries. Meaning that somewhere in Russia you're going to start seeing Russian-produced versions of Western goods. And it will most certainly be interesting to see how those turn out when they inevitably start finding their way here. More interesting, however, is the fact that Russia may end up even being a country willing to host torrent sites, which would enable the piracy of video games, movies, music, etc. And this latter bit may have some rather interesting implications if it does actually go through, and not just inside Russia. Keep in mind, major companies have already been having difficulty when it comes to torrent sites anyways. So the idea that a country like Russia might be willing to simply host them on its own would undoubtedly make things significantly worse for the companies that are trying to stop piracy. Now, of course, I pretty much expect big tech and major corporations in the West to respond to this. So I would recommend caution for those who would wish to sail the high seas at the moment. Don't be surprised if there is a sudden uptick in viruses on some of those torrent sites. That said, it is difficult to tell what the long-term implications will be for Russia's decision here. But nevertheless, I intend to keep an eye on the situation to see if any more news should come. And of course, should more news arrive, I will endeavor to inform you all about it as well. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.